What is a fragrance wardrobe and do you need one? I'm going to break it down really easily today. Fragrance wardrobe is basically a collection of fragrances that are specifically curated for the different seasons in your life. It's just like clothing. You aren't going to want to wear a heavy jacket, boots, a sweater, a hoodie in the summertime, but for winter, obviously that works great. It's kind of the same idea with fragrances. Some perfumes just do not work well in different seasons based on how they are formulated. So for example, in the spring and summer, obviously it's warmer temperatures outside. If you have a fragrance that's very dense, heavy, spicy, woody, it's going to be overpowering and really strong when it's super hot outside. You want something a little bit lighter, fresher, and clean, a little bit zesty. But in the fall and winter seasons, when it is cold, those heavier, denser, spicy fragrances perform well because it's so cold outside. You need something that's almost going to cut through that cold weather, but also all of those layers you have on. If you've got a jacket, a sweater, you're taking it off, you're putting it back on, you need something that's a little bit dense and a little bit stronger so people can actually smell it through all of those layers and again, that cold air. So I want to break it down by season to give you all some recommendations on how to build a very smart, curated collection of fragrances that you can use for all the different seasons. Let's start with spring. So for spring, I always recommend having a nice floral, fruity, kind of soft fragrances because the weather is moderate. It's not too hot. It's not too cold yet. So florals tend to do really well. And obviously that kind of gives off that feeling and emotion that you feel in spring. The flowers are out, they're blooming. I have a couple recommendations from the Marsté line depending on your scent style. So Jardin du Luxembourg is a floral fragrance, but it's a little bit more green. So if you like fragrances that have florals, but they're a little bit fresher, lighter, this would be the one for you. This fragrance has green mandarin, rhubarb, and basil, and that's what gives it kind of that green facet. But in the center, it has white lilac, and that's going to be your very chic, elegant flower. And then at the base, you have some cedar and musk, which is very comforting, a little bit light. So if you love floral, not overly powering, light, slightly sweet, a little green fragrance, then this would be the one that I would recommend from Marsté. If you like a flower that's a little bit more creamy, a little bit more dense of a flower with a hint of spice, just a little bit, then I would say Montmartre Midi. I love this one for spring because it has jasmine in it. I love jasmine. It's one of my favorite flowers. That's at the heart of Montmartre Midi. It also has a little bit of cardamom in there, and that's what gives it that hint of spice, that uniqueness that makes it very special and unique. But then at the base, it has some honey, some musk, and some cedarwood. So it is slightly sweet, little creamy, a little bit denser, but still very flower-centered with that jasmine. Next season we have is summer. Summer is so hot, so you want something very fresh and light. So either a fresh fragrance, a citrus, even a green one could work. So for this category, I would recommend Jardin du Luxembourg. I think this works for the summer as well because it is very light and refreshing, and the florals aren't too heavy or dense. But for essences, I really like Essence Mandarine. So these can be worn on their own because they are fine fragrances, but they can also be for layering. So if you have a fragrance that you already have at home, and for summer you're like, I'm tired of this fragrance, or I want to mix it up, you can change the scent profile by using Essence Mandarine, spraying one spray on top. And that is going to give you that citrusy note that's going to enhance it. It's going to make it feel fresher, a little bit brighter, which works amazing for summer when it's hot outside. You don't want something too heavy or dense. So I really love Essence Mandarine. It's a crowd pleaser. Everyone who smells this one really, really likes it because it's just very wearable, but still fresh and a little zesty. Then for fall scents, you want things that are cozy. So gourmands work really well. Ambers, something that's a little bit more dense, a little bit richer. So it's going to cut through that cooler air. You're going to smell it still when you have all of these layers on. You start putting on your sweaters, your scarves, and things like that. So something like Essence Vanille. If you guys love vanilla, this is it. You can wear this all year round, honestly, but I do like it for fall because it's a gourmand vanilla. It's sweet, it's creamy, it has just a hint of lime in there. So that's why I say you could wear it all seasons because there is a little bit of freshness. But the vanilla is going to give you that comforting factor, which in the fall is amazing. Like we want to be cozy. We want something sweet, a little bit inviting. That's what I love about Essence Vanille. But if you want an amber with a little bit of spice, Une Nuit Parisienne is amazing. It's a nice, rich, creamy amber with a hint of spice, and it has hazelnut in there, which gives it such a unique facet, you all. It's To me, it's almost like an amber gourmand because it's a little sweet. It has that hazelnut in there, so it still has that gourmand, someone wants to eat you type of factor. And it has the hint of spices with the chai spices in there. This works amazing for fall because it's cozy, a little bit spicy, sweet, sexy all at the same time. Then the last season is obviously winter, and this is where it's really cold. So with winter fragrances, you want something that's going to be woody, spicy, a little bit stronger. So it really pushes through that cold weather. So Une Nuit Parisienne, I think would be amazing for winter as well because it has those spices in there, but also something like Essence Santal works great because it's a wood. So Essence Santal is centered around sandalwood, which is a wood. It's a creamy, slightly sweet wood. So good, you guys. If you love sandalwood, this is incredible. I wear this on its own all the time, or if I have any fragrance that I love, I'll spray 1 spritz of the Essence Santal. So good. It just adds that depth, that woodiness, that richness that really shines in the winter months because it has that depth. It's a base note. So that's what I'd recommend for the winter season. So I always tell people if you can have at least a few in your collection of different styles, something that's very light and fresh for spring and summer. And then for fall, get something a little bit cozy, a little bit denser, sweeter. And then for winter, get something witty and spicy that gives you a variety of fragrances that work the best in those seasons because of those temperatures and the style that you're going for when people smell you, if that makes sense. One trick I also want to give you also, the essences are meant to be layered. So I purposely had created 3 different essences and styles. You have Essence Mandarine, which is your fresh, zesty one. So if you have a fragrance that you love at home right now already, you can get a couple essences to switch it up so you still have the center of that fragrance that you love and you enjoy and wear all the time. Then change the scent profile a bit by layering an essence on top. So for Essence Mandarine, great for spring and summer. And then for summer moving into fall, I would transition it by using Essence Vanille to add that little bit of creaminess, sweetness, gourmand type of facet. And then for fall and winter, the Essence Santal is a great way to add some depth and woodiness to your current perfume. It just makes it a little bit more denser to work for those colder months.